Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Oath Overwatch Spring Season. My name is Merp. I'm joined by Imperium, and we are bringing you for our first match, Glitch versus Rush.
Definitely looking forward to this one as we move in. What are you most looking forward to see
I
actually from Glitch and Rush?
I'm willing to I'm really wanting to see exactly what Glitch can pull out right now because they are currently as if I believe I'm correct 0-4 in the season, but they have shown a lot of promise. They've constantly shown up with strategies, with skill that has matched their opponents. It's just never quite found the purchase, and they're up against a very formidable Rush, which under the guise of Dragon Gamer and Barty had been absolutely dominant until their match against Ember.
Absolutely. We've talked about, the dominance of Dragon Gamer so much, especially on the pharmacy run pair with Barty, especially on we're about to move into Ilios, the map. We've seen Roadhog played so often.
Mhm.
We'll definitely gonna see Roadhog, I think, brought out today, especially from the side of Glitch, who I think has run Roadhog numerous times
Mhm.
in the past. And Roadhog today, funny enough, had a change made, kind of buffing his hook a little bit.
Yeah, so apparently it's become a pattern for Overwatch devs to release all patch notes on Tuesdays, which just so happen to be the same day we run Oath. So we're going to be seeing this spree of note changes on game days, but luckily for us, these changes aren't too big or too noticeable. They could lead to some benefits. May's alt cast got ever so slightly faster. Farah has slightly better maneuverability. And like you mentioned, Hog got a 1 second buff, as in a decrease on the cooldown for his hook. And considering we're going into Ilios, and we will probably be going into Ilios well, we could see that played to full effect.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with, the changes that were designed to nerf Roadhog a few weeks back, kind of bring him out of the power that was Roadhog at the time, remove the one-shot combo.
Mhm.
But those changes designed to nerf him have actually made his hook environmental kills so much more powerful. It's extended the distance at which they drop. So now Roadhog can play in a much safer position away from the cliff that he's dropping his enemies in, just throwing them in there to die. And now with the hook reduction time on that, he can do it, an extra second every time, which is going to be crazy, especially in a map, like we said, like Ilios Well, where it's just a big hole in the
Yep.
center of the point where everyone has to be, where Roadhog can just throw his hook, grab somebody, and toss them right in there.
Well, even better, like the hook itself is important, yes, but those nerfs to Roadhog made it to where he had to be a bit more careful, right? With previous iterations of Hog, you could pick anyone that was 250 HP or less and one tap them in a series of not hard to execute motions. Now they've sort of lowered that breaking point to where the enemy that you've hooked in already has to be damaged. You're not going to get nearly as much value. So it raised the skill ceiling for him drastically, and I'm actually a really big fan of what they've done here. But I do think with those with that hog buff that we just had today, where it decreased the hook cooldown from 8 seconds down to 6, we will be seeing that difference, and we will be seeing that executed here in Ilios. Especially considering, yes, I do believe Funtime Cold and Carnage actually both had a hog battle. I think it was a match of Glitch versus Rush before, um, with Rush having pulled forward there. So will we get to see this? I mean, it feels like a very minor change, but given the circumstance and given the map that we're about to be heading into, it could be quite major.
Absolutely. And a few of the other changes that were made today that might come into play during our matches tonight. You mentioned Farah getting a movement change, that allows her shift up ability, which kind of launches her right up into the sky, now can be controlled by her movement. So that could lead to a lot more opening plays, especially for a
Mhm.
Farah as dominant as Dragon Gamers has been in the past. That can open up so many more areas of opportunity for that to just really shine, especially as we move in here. And then also the May changes, while not super significant, May has seen a lot of playtime in the last few matches due
Huge.
to Wrecking Ball being so prevalent in almost every single matchup we've seen.
Yeah, May is incredibly potent because she has one of the few abilities that allows her to completely separate on cooldown a team in a half, right? So Overwatch is, as you were saying here, a team-based game, one where you have to work with your allies work with your teammates in order to get the betterment of your enemy. Mei has one of the few abilities with her wall that disrupts that teamwork and actually makes it much easier for your allies as teammates of the Mei to capitalize on the error positionings that have now been forced out of the enemy. So let's say I'm a Reinhardt in the front and the rest of my team is behind me. Mei puts a shield between Reinhardt and the rest of that team, and it becomes very easy, very quickly to kill that Reinhardt if executed properly. And that is one of the big reasons why with this forced environmental change, the thing that gets in the way of every tank in the game or splits a team in half, she's been such a consistent counter against Ball because she can just wall off the ball. And regardless of Ball's ability to run away, they're kind of stuck behind an ice wall.
Yeah. Absolutely, and it's an ability not really seen anywhere else. It
Mhm.
sounds like a tank ability, sort of. You throw this wall between teams, kind of it
Mhm.
blocks both damage and movement, and no other character in the game has an ability like that.
Mhm.
You can just throw it up and it doesn't, unlike a shield, seen by like Sigma, Ramatra, Reinhardt even, the shield only blocks damage, right, from
Mhm.
one team. Mei's wall will block damage from both the enemy team and her own team
Mhm.
while
Oh,
also blocking movement. Like no one can just walk right through those.
Uh, absolutely, and also to an even greater point is it blocks healing, right? So we mentioned that tank. The reason why that tank dies so quickly is because they don't have the support of their supports. The supports are nullified in those 2 seconds the wall is up, and therefore the wall can be such a potent ability when executed properly. And we've seen that from Dragon Gamer actually. We saw that in the game of Rush versus Ember, how it was executed flawlessly. Ember sort of went with this hit scan to counter Dragon Gamer and Barty's pharmacy combo, and it worked out really well, especially with pressures on that Cassidy. And then Dragon Gamer switched over to the Mei, and that proved a challenge because his mechanics are so good, and the ability to split that team in half and force them to use cooldowns they don't want to be using is such a potent thing to do, and Dragon Gamer is very good at using that ability. Now we're gonna be looking, Glitch. They, like we said, haven't found a win yet, but they have the strategies behind them, and they have the the skill behind it too, right? Catitude and Mister have both been phenomenal support players, and I think with the help of Funtime Cold on the tank line playing that ball, we could ball or Ryan could see a very nice performance here from the side of Glitch.
Absolutely. And we talked about them showing up last week especially. Their adaptability is something that Glitch has shown to be really strong
Mhm.
throughout our matches in the last few weeks. Um and last week against Ember having a really strong showing there. Almost holding Ember. I think they were able to cap a point every now and then. Something that really hasn't been seen as of yet outside of Rush.
Mhm.
And it's really exciting. It seems like every week, Glitch just gets stronger and stronger as that teamwork really begins to shine through what they're doing. And I'm really excited to see after what they did against Ember last week. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do against Rush here today.
Well, we're going to be seeing it in just a few seconds as we head into Ilios Lighthouse. Now, this is not the map you would typically go for Roadhog 4. Like we said, it's well, the one with the big old hole in the middle of the control point. So that's not going to be what we're seeing. Instead, excuse me, I apologize. We're going to be seeing Diva and Ramatra comps. What do you think about this breakdown, Imperium?
It's definitely interesting. On the side of Rush right now, what we're seeing is a Ramatra with an Ashe and then a Sojourn, and then Mercy Bap in the back line. Um, a really interesting pick for a map like Lighthouse here. The Ashe I think makes a lot of sense because Dynamite's gonna get a lot of value when their whole team has to group up. But I think that's gonna be really difficult to play with Funtime Cold on the Diva. Diva can just eat that Dynamite, shift right into their face, and then just gun them down. And Ash doesn't have much she can do there to avoid that.
Absolutely, Dragon Gamer already taking down Grovoid on the Echo. That's a massive pick there. Now it's going to be Rush with the hand up. Barty's able to take out Galactic Rose on that Baptiste hit scan, and Supernova picks up Quest as well. and that is going to be a first fight win for the side of Rush already.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Diva falls, so too do Glitch's hopes to kind of reclaim this. But, Rush did a really good job of holding the high grounds they needed, taking the fights they wanted there. And that early pick from Dragon Gamer onto Crowvoid, really helped to give them that numbers advantage moving into the first capture there. And, we see time ticking down now, and Dragon Gamer moving to set up as Glitch moves back in, ready to engage in this next fight.
And we're going to be seeing a Genji swap from Crowvoid. Now going to be trying to pressure out Dragon Gamer on the Ashe. Gets him down to half HP, but they have the support there available. Supernova also low. And the DPS are getting pressured up by Crowvoid. Crowvoid doesn't get caught, though, by a Ramontra. He cannot block. The Resurrection comes from the side of Quest, but they will get picked off as a trade. Galactic Rose able to pick off Barty, but it's not going to be enough. And Rush will probably continue holding on to this. However, they have the backline pressure now, and Carnage swaps some of that Annihilation form to continue pressing forward. And will do so, just cleaving through with the unblockable damage from their mantra. It's absolutely astounding the amount of pressure he's able to put out there. 50% and counting now already for the side of Rush, and they will continue holding strong as Dragon Gamer picks off the last two.
And Carnage doing a great job contesting Funtime Cold on the Diva because, Ramatra's ability, his shift ability, which starts just throwing punches, just goes right through Diva's defense matrix. And she's left pretty helpless there without their supports in order to keep them up. So Carnage doing a great job there, fighting that off, getting a little bit of a stall just to give them that much more time.
Funtime Cold trying to pressure out the backline. The anti-nade coming in for the side of from the side of Mr. Able to eventually pick off Supernova, but not before they go down to the side of Carnage. Their mantra, just such an oppressive force in the backline with unblockable damage, has been showing so much value. Barty down, Quest, sorry, I apologize, down low. Dragon Gamer eventually going to pick them off as the Annihilation ultimate comes out from the side of Carnage, and that is going to be a full hold there from the side of Rush, taking the first map.
And what a great hold that was. We saw Dragon Gamer, set up on that high ground pretty much the entire map without anything contesting them.
0-1.
Yeah, I mean, well, Crowvoid tried, right, with the Genji, but there's just so much pressure on them to get through that. And I think the key component here, as we see with the damage numbers, is Carnage with 12 elims on the board. That unblockable damage from the side of their mantra and just the ability to focus Firehead. We saw it from Rush before, but it had never really found fruit. Now with the sort of changes that have passed around over the past couple of weeks, Ramontra is shown to be incredibly powerful, and Carnage is making it known.
Absolutely. And we see here, the damage numbers also from the side of Rush as we move into this next point. It looks like there's not going to be too many changes from either side except for the Lucio swap by Mr. Mister.
As both teams meet each other here across the field, Supernova going to be the first one to spray into the enemy. As they meet each other here, it will be Glitch with the initial contact on the point. Crowvoid trying to find the backline here, is going to be diving into Supernova, but he gets pressured out once again by their mantra. Able to block away that damage just a little bit, but not quite enough, and Mr. Mister gets caught out. 3% and counting now for the side of Glitches. They're going to be the first one to capture here, and Galactic Rose is standing strong, putting out tons of DPS pressure. Unfortunately for them, Dragon Gamer lands a beautiful dynamite, picking off two. Galactic Rose and Quest both go down, and the man is unstoppable. Now 14% counting for the side of Glitches. They will get taken out, and it will get flipped back over to Rush.
And, Dragon Gamer there with the crazy dynamite with the boost from unknown class this time instead of Barty on the Mercy. Mercy power boost with that dynamite just does so much damage, especially when you have, the shots to follow it up or the team to follow it up. It's a truly powerful force, just so much burst damage all at once. Makes it really hard to heal with a composition like Lucio Mercy.
Dragon Gamer gets pressured out, but it's just not enough. Once again, Carnage goes in with that Brawl form, takes that Galactic Rose super quickly. Crowvoid tries to follow up on the damage that his teammates did, but it's just not quite there. Quest gets the Resin Galactic Rose, so the DPS pressure is back a little bit for the side of Glitch. And eventually, Funtime Cold will get picked out as they try to dive in for Barty. Just not quite there. Now 30% and counting for the side of Rush as they continue holding strong.
And Carnage doing a great job there of separating the enemy tank, getting them where they want them, and then using that shift ability again just to beat down Diva till they're demacked and then picked off. That makes it really difficult for Glitch without a tank to get through there. And Carnage doing a great job of using that advantage. We see them pushing forward, taking the space that they want, and now Rush has them set up exactly where they want them for this next fight.
We also see Unknown Class doing a great job at damage beaming both Dragon Gamer and Carnage, who seem to be the two getting the most damage out, right? We talk about that Mercy all the time. 35% extra damage incurs a lot of break points in the game and allows for these players to find so much value with less effort involved. Now, Samira comes out from the side of Glitch as they're going to be pressing forward here. Crow Void activates the Dragon Blade. He's going to be trying to search for Unknown Class. He will be able to get that Mercy, maybe not quite yet. And then Mercy's going to be flying away. He will eventually be able to clean it up. But Galactic was able to pick off Supernova. Pressures out Dragon Gamer. Now this could be the chance that Glitch needs in order to capture the point. Funtime Cold eventually takes out Carnage. And Dragon Gamer goes for the reset. 95% and counting for the side of Rush, but it will be Glitch recapturing the point.
And a great flip there for Glitch, but Rush is able to come back now with three, almost four ultimates ready to roll. We've got Annihilation, we've got Bob, which has recently seen some changes that could be really powerful here on the side of Rush. And so they've got several ultimates ready to use for this next fight, and all they need is 1 point flip, realistically, and then it's another point for Rush.
Exactly, and this is going to be the last fight too, essentially, as all ultimates are going to be used. There goes the Bob from the side of Dragon Gamer, going to be trying to put out any pressure it can. Crowboy actually picks off Unknown Class, and that could be a huge pick. Dragon Gamer is able to trade with Quest, and so the Mercies are traded out. Galactic Bros is able to pick up the Bob from the side of Dragon Gamer, but it is not enough. They're trapped in a corner, and there's not too much they can do. Luckily, for the side of Glitch, Mr. Mixer and Crowboy in the backline, absolutely causing havoc. Mr. Mixer picks up two. It's the Annihilation off the side of Carnage that has to keep the push alive. He is one of the last ones standing, and it is a tank versus support fight right now. Mr. versus Carnage. Carnage just has so much HP, will eventually take out Mr. and is going for that point flip. Now reinforcements back in for the side of Glitch. And can they do it? Can they solidify this? Will Carnage be able to stay alive to get the rest of his team back? Carnage able to pick off Galactic Rose and Quest down as well. The reinforcements coming into the side of Carnage as well, and Rush proving extremely powerful here. We'll get this flip back into overtime. This is the last fight for both these teams. Galactic Rose, sorry, I apologize, Barty, has the window, not going to be using it. Dragon Gamer is able to pick up Mr. and Supernova with the overclock. Be looking for any picks they can as the entire enemy team pours into the point. Galactic Rose able to pick off the Immortality Field. Could be a huge if they're able to pick it off. Yes, they are. Dragon Gamer goes down. That's absolutely massive. Oh, nobody touching the point though, and overtime ticks down. And that is going to be Ilios done and Rush taking the first map.
And what a truly impressive showing there from Carnage in that last bit. At one point it was the DPS and a support, which is truly oftentimes a really difficult combo for a tank to match up with. But Carnage still able to flip that point after a truly impressive stall from Glitch for this play of the game right here. We see it happen. It's truly insane.
Absolutely. I mean, just stalled it out like a very good tank should. Such a good job at staying alive, even against it was like 1 in 4 odds, right?
Hmm.
And you'll hear us say it all the time: is you don't win 1v5s, right? It's a team-based game. But if you're Carnage and you're really good at using your Mantra's brawl ability, sometimes you win 1v4s. It's it's not quite as hard as a 1v5. Still incredibly difficult and incredibly impressive to pull off. And Rush showing exactly why they've been trying to reach for this Ramantra strat for so long.
Absolutely. And Glitch though doing a great job of holding that out. Even with that four, Rush came in, used a few ultimates, really ran through there, guns blazing, fists swinging. But Glitch still able to hold out for another, I think maybe 20 or 30 seconds. Getting pick. We saw you just one by one coming in, stalling it for as long as possible, and then they had a full team fight, which is truly an impressive thing to pull off, especially with such a short time period. Rush only had 5 seconds left before they won that, and Glitch were able to hold out that long and still get a solid team fight in, and that's really impressive. But Carnage using their abilities, staying alive that long, getting the kills they needed in order to flip that back around, and by the time Glitch was ready to fight, so was Rush, and Rush just had the ultimate advantage, and they were able to play where they wanted, and they did an excellent job of doing that. And I think we're about to move into Rialto, where maybe they can do the same thing again.
Absolutely. One thing I do want to point out on the side of Glitch that I really, really, really liked was the fact that we had Crovoid swap over to that Genji. And while that Genji did struggle against the damage that Ramattra is able to pull out, did on multiple occasions successfully find the backline of Rush, constantly searching for unknown class on the on the Mercy, constantly searching out for Dragon Gamer and Supernova on the DPS. I mean, we saw a lot of the times that Glitch was able to pull back the fight. It was because Crovoid had made his way to the backline and had successfully picked off at least one person. So good stuff on the side of Glitch for figuring out a counter strategy there in terms of the Genji dive. And now we are, like you said, going to be heading into Rialto, which is going to be quite interesting.
It will be. Rialto's a pretty wide open map for the first couple points. And I think Dragon Gamer, if they choose to stick on that Ashe, can really, have a great showing here. But Crowvoid on that Genji, demonstrating great last round that a player's value doesn't always come from the damage output they're putting out or the elims. Like, just looking at stats, it would look like Crowvoid wasn't doing as much as they had before they swapped. But Genji is able to really negate a lot of the damage, coming in from Dragon Gamer, especially with that Mercy Pocket from Unknown Class. And not just negate that damage, but deflect it into the other team. It's also Genji's movement abilities makes it so that they have to really choose where they fight. It slows them down, makes them think, so they can't just stand in one place and just fire into the enemy the whole time. And that decreasing the enemy's value also increases your value. So again, Overwatch is a game of strategy, and I think that was a great strategy to come in through there. As Genji, work to get around. It didn't work out probably quite like they had wanted, but it still got a lot of
No,
value there.
but it got close, and that's exactly what matters, right? And gotta give him kudos for bringing it that close, actually making it a last fight scenario for both teams, forcing everybody to use their ultimates, getting up to 87%, I believe. So, like we've been saying all season, Glitch has been incredibly consistent and has the ability to swap, make strategies. They've done everything right. They just haven't quite capitalized on it. And now we're seeing a little bit more resistance. Once again, every week they get a little bit better. They get this point in time where they want to push forward and where they want to continue showing what they've got. And now we're going to be seeing it here on the second map, Rialto, as we're going to be seeing a little bit of a change up on both sides, seemingly almost trading strategies.
Absolutely. And not only that, but we do see, a side flip here. Now, Glitch will appear on the red side on the right, and Rush will appear with the blue on the left.
Yes, just for viewer and honestly caster eyeballs. Sometimes I get confused too. It's okay. It all happens. We're all human. Dragon Gamer using that pharmacy combo with Barty to sort of pressure out the lower ground. We're going to be seeing a Reaper teleport from Crowboy trying to contest it, if at all. They get down low, and they will get picked off eventually, but Crowboy's able to pick off Supernova, so it's DPS trade for DPS trade, and right now it's going to be Glitch with the spawn advantage, so that's actually a massive pick.
Absolutely. And I talked about Dragon Gamer coming out on the Ashe and getting a lot of value here, but we see them on the Pharah with Party back on that Mercy Pocket, And what we referred to earlier as an unstoppable force, already showing how true that is, but they are able to get picked off by Galactic Rose right there.
Nice right click from them as they swap over to the Soldier. Dragon Gamer does go down, and that could be exactly what Glitch need to continue pushing forward here. Funtime Cold, also I'm noticing using that Ramattra Bolt very similar to what exactly Carnage was doing last game, and chasing down that backline. Catitude will end up being found, and that is going to be a retreat there now from the side of Glitch, as they will be forced back without a main healer. Carnage able to pick off Crow Void, and Dragon Gamer has the barrage. He's going to use this fight, pick off Galactic Rose, pick off the remnants of Glitch, and secure the fight win for the side of Rush.
Absolutely. What a great ultimate usage there, just to clean things up a little bit, space out the other team, buy them quite a bit of time. Now they're having to wait on half of their team to come back, and I think that was a great investment. But we do see the Bastion swap here from Galactic Rose. Already able to get a couple great picks on the Soldier, switching over to Bastion, which is like a mobile soldier with a lot more burst capability. So I think Definitely excited to see what they bring out there, especially against the pharmacy duo that is Dragon Gamer and Barky.
Galactic Rose does go down though. Dragon Gamer is able to pick him off eventually in that massive flux. Sympathetic Carnage is going to be picking off 2. Both supports. Oh, okay. Now both supports down for the side of Glitch. Now is as Rush continue to hold on strong. I apologize.
Now they're just working to secure that pick on Funtime Cold. And now that they've done it again, Glitch having to reset as a team, come back really strong. But they do have that spawn advantage now, as well. It's almost even. I think with this map on this first point, the spawns are almost pretty much half and half. So it's really tricky for either side to get an advantage.
Multiple ultimates online for both of these teams as they're going to continue to press forward here. Carnage gets down low, but is going to be Funtime Cold getting return damage. Soundbearer and Annihilation both come through, but he does get trapped. Then Annihilation's going to get burned quickly, but not before Supernova goes down. Crowvoid finds a very nice pick there. You have to watch out for Dragon Gamer in the skies, though. Carnage and Unknown Class will eventually fall. Dragon Gamer still alive with that barrage. Once again, can clean this up quite nicely. He activates it. Will they get? They will get annihilated. Funtime Cold will get found. Mr. the only one remaining as he continues trying to contest that point. And Dragon Gamer saves that push with 45 seconds remaining now.
And Dragon Gamer against all odds there, using that ultimate to get those picks yet again, showing how valuable one ultimate can be to keep them from capping that point.
30 seconds remaining.
Now we're going to see, once again, more ultimates online for the side of Rush, as they're going to put out so much damage in that little hallway. And now swapping over to the Junkrat Supernova has for a while now, and they have the tire available too to clean this one up. Dragon Gamer finds 2 with the help of their DPS partner. Mr. going to try their darndest to stay alive forever. Crow Void goes for the Death Blossom, but it's just not enough. 5 seconds remaining, and that is going to be a point A hold for the side of Rush.
Supernova there doing a fantastic job of, as Glitch comes down that that tight little corner, that one little alleyway, just firing Junkrat orbs down that, and that's a lot of damage for such a small space. And with 5 people in that small space, it's almost impossible to miss. And we could see some crazy damage numbers there from the side of Dragon Gamer, especially. I mean, look at 6,000 is so much damage for a single point of a map.
I mean, that's not quite Penguin on Mercy levels, but that is ridiculous nonetheless. 6,000, and we could have gone 3 times farther.
Ready for
Is ahead and beyond everybody else in the lobby, and I do genuinely think it's because Dragon Gamer was doing a great job at exploiting that pathway that that Glitch was opting to take, right? That small little corridor where splash damage, like Supernova and Dragon Gamer have, is just so potent. And Dragon Gamer, being a flying character, has more opportunities to get above shields, can hide behind buildings to sort of maintain safety, and continue putting out so much damage without really risking themselves. So the 6,000 damage, quite substantial, and is shown to be the reason why Rush has just maintained such a stalwart defense.
3, 2,
Absolutely. And you talked about, both DPS on their side being able to hold that one little choke point at doing a great job. And I think they can definitely do it again here in this first round, but on the attacking side.
Dragon Gamer on the Ashe, trying to pressure out Catitude, but the Catitude will be wise and will retreat their great decision from them, as you don't want to lose that on a first pick. Crowboy's going to pick off Dragon Gamer. Once again, though, Rush have the spawn advantage, so these picks are going to be extra important to be favored in the side of Glitch if they continue holding strong. Galactic Rose on the Bastion. We'll see how this plays out.
And, Dragon Gamer already swapping off of the Ashe to the Pharah. I think that's a great idea, especially with, the amount of support that Ashe was getting to work against this.
Beautiful eat from the side of Carnage. They're going to be pressuring Galactic Rose down low. Dragon Gamer's going to be cleaning up the damage that their signal was able to capitalize on and find 2 immediately. Dragon Gamer finds a 3rd on Funtime Cold. And oh my, what in the world kind of Pharah rocket was that? Dragon Gamer picks off a 4th, and this man is unstoppable. Now it is last fight for both these teams.
An absolutely crazy pick there on Mr. predicting exactly where they're going to fall, aiming the rocket right where they think it is, and being 100% right. That is crazy, something you don't see that often either.
I love this rotation here from the side of Glitch. Actually, they're going to be rotating at the high ground, but Dragon Gamer in the backline picks off Mr. and Crowboy before the fight's even able to start. Picks off a third and Galactic Rose, and nobody's watching this guy. Funtime Cold goes down. It's 5 meters before anyone's able to touch the barrage to clean it up, and that is a gnarly performance from the side of Rush as they're going to take this series 2-0.
Absolutely crazy play there at the end, knowing that they've got to rush to get it, jumping forward and using that barrage instinctively there to get it and play the game by Dragon Gamer. That last fight, absolutely amazing.
Booped one, Mr. and gets a direct on Crowboy, and gets another one on the side of Galactic Rose. I mean, this man's mechanics are crazy. Not quite able to get the ace there, unfortunately. But very, 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 very nice play. We knew it was going to be a threat. We knew it was going to be a challenge, and it did come true. Dragon Gamer on the far is still scary.
Absolutely, didn't even see the pharmacy play for map 1, but brought it out super strong for map 2. Could not have asked for a better showing. Absolutely insane throughout all of that, and there just didn't seem to be anything that could stop it.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw the attempts there, right, from the side of Glitch, right? We had especially it was I believe Galactic Rose on the soldier. Or was it Crowvoid? Yep. Okay, yes. Galactic Rose on the soldier, swapped to Bastion, did a fantastic job at initially countering that Varus strategy. Um, and then I think Dragon Gamer did a very good job at recognizing that threat, recognizing that it did exist from Glitch, and playing much, much, much safer and making it 10 times more difficult to sort of take out that uh to take out the enemy DPS and not play risky. So great response there from the side of Glitch. Rush, you played well, you played smart, and you played to your heart's content. And that will be the end of that match. But we will be back for the side of Croutons versus Ember. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. And we are back with a little bit of a pre-game talk between me and Imperium. Once again, my name is Merp. I'm joined by Imperium. And how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a pretty light day. Been pretty fun. Looking forward and a great match. Not too long ago. So, I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
It's a very fine day. It's a very dark, cloudy day. I was yawning my head off at work, and now I'm just glad to be here so that I can be awake and ready. Speaking of awake and ready, I'm sure both of these teams are ready to rumble, ready to go, ready to tumble, and we are going to see a very interesting match because Croutons over the past couple of weeks have been looking very good comparative to their beginning of the season, while Ember has remained the sole undefeated team of the season.
Absolutely. Ember has just been so strong
Hmm.
the last couple weeks. It's been super fun to watch, especially the game 2 weeks ago against Rush.
Hmm.
Went into double overtime Kings Row. Some crazy plays there. Had a great time watching that. And even last week, again, I think it was Ember back in Kings Row
Yep,
against Glitch
they
with
love
another
that map.
insane game. I mean, Kings Row is also my favorite map, so I
Same here.
cannot blame them for that at all. Such a fun and balanced map. Um, but a lot of interesting opportunities in Kings Row, I think, for
Absolutely.
sight lines. You've got sight lines, you've got flanks you can make with that. Um, and I think that brings up a great question: is what would you say is your favorite map?
Kings Row, Kings Row, and Kings Row, and also Shambali Monastery if we want to look at the newer maps, but Kings Row.
I
Um, it's just so much fun, and as a Ryan, it's the one map where Reinhardt will always be viable regardless of the meta. For some reason, it's just because there's so many tunnels, and Reinhardt likes tunnels because Fire Strike is busted. So I don't know. I've always forced Reinhardt on Kings Row, and it works out about 95% of the time. So it's a good time. It's a good time. I love Kings Row. I love watching it in Oath because kids get on fire for Kings Row, as we have seen. I think if I were to look back, if anytime I've lost my brains, lost my marbles, said holy bananas the most, anytime I've done any of that, it's on King's Row Oath.
absolutely, and I think in the match we were just talking about, Ember versus Rush on Kings Row, I think there was a grand total of 4 or 5 holy bananas throughout. The back and forth battle that was that match. I'm sure someone in the chat kept track, and that would be a fun counter to have. I feel like for someone to do is the amount of holy bananas that come out of crazy matches, and I'm sure as the playoffs get near, that number will just steadily climb.
Absolutely, and actually, speaking of finals, you haven't been to one yet. We still have. I mean, we're on week 5 out of week 8, and then week 9 is obviously finals. You haven't been to one yet, and I'm telling you now, you think these matches get crazy here? You think you know what's gonna happen? You think you understand the game? You don't. The finals are absolutely crazy. If you haven't made plans yet to go, because I know some of us have to plan weeks ahead in advance, go. Listen, I won't talk to you guys directly like this usually. Go to the finals. Anyways, that's the end of my spiel. Please go. It's a blast, and it's gonna be a huge, a fun time, a fantastic time. It always is. I'm always glad to be there, and I'm always glad to be here. Um, we are so like I said, Croutons versus Ember. Croutons have been improving, and I'm quite excited to see how much they have grown over the past couple of weeks. What is going to be their biggest challenge on the side of Ember, though?
I think honestly, one of the strongest things that Ember has been able to throw is just the crazy DPS from the side of Pressure and Dapper, with the crazy plays that Lazy Titan makes. Whether it's, I mean, typically Wrecking Ball is what we see, right? All kinds of opportunities are brought up for Pressure and Dapper on the, whether it's a hit scan, like Ash, Soldier, or a Reaper. We've seen a Reaper so much, it just gets so much value
Mhm.
there with just Lazy Titan on the Wrecking Ball. Throwing the other teams back
Mhm.
and forth. They're focusing on Wrecking Ball. Then Reaper comes in, gets pick after pick, or ultimate after ultimate, and it leads to some crazy plays. But the last couple weeks, we've seen Dapper on the Pharah, and we've talked a
True.
lot about how powerful Pharah is. And
Absolutely.
Dapper has shown to be, just as powerful as any other Pharah in Oath right now. And so I'm really expecting to see Pharah again, especially if we open up on Ilios once again. And, all kinds of crazy plays are made there, especially with the new movement ability we've talked about. I'm really excited to see what's brought out.
Absolutely. We're going to be seeing that trade in mechanics and trade in teamwork and the growth that Croutons has had versus the solidarity that Ember has been able to take hold of here. Like you mentioned, it was Dapper on the Pharah, who was actually giving Dragon Gamer a run for his money in their match last week against Rush. Um, and that is what we are going to be looking forward into as we get everybody in here and we get ready for this match. And I can't wait. I think Pressures and Dapper are an incredible DPS line. I'm excited to see if there will be any ball. We've seen it a little less as the season's gone on, but Lazy Titan and Gumball are both very good at ball. We could see that matchup happen as well. And then uh Penguin and Pineapple, both fantastic mercies. Penguin having put over almost 10,000 healing in a 1 point hold on Rialto last week. So that is above and beyond anything else. And I can't wait to see exactly what we're going to go into. We are going to be taking a quick 5 minute break. We're going to be back at 8 o'clock, so don't go anywhere. And we will be saying Glitch versus Ember shortly. And we are back with an exciting match ahead of us for the night. It is Croutons versus Ember, a improved Croutons versus a unstoppable so far Ember. My name is Murph. I'm joined by Imperium, and we are ready to break this one down.
Absolutely, super looking forward to this matchup. If you're just joining us, we've talked about Croutons versus Ember quite a bit the last few minutes, but um, Ember has proven to be time and time again, just this super powerful force in the game. Going 4-0 this season. But Croutons have showed a lot of promise the last few weeks. Seemingly getting stronger every single week. So we're super excited to see what they bring out today, especially on a map here that we're starting out with, a map like Helios.
Exactly. Last week they had an incredibly close match against Rush. I do believe Rush ended up pulling forward in that one. I could be mistaken, but that is to say that Rush also had an incredibly close match against Ember. So by proxy and by association, this could be a banger. And I am excited to see exactly what the improved croutons over the past couple of weeks, as we mentioned before, are going to pull out against Ember, who just have a team full of uh very skilled nut jobs. And I mean that in the kindest way. Because pressure is insane on the mechanics. Pineapple has been a fantastic Mercy that's gotten some very key reses. Lazy Titan has been an all around very, very skilled, very rounded tank player, and this is going to be a challenge. But I believe in the Croutons' ability to continue to grow the way they have, and I believe in Coach Thunder and the ability to sort of come up with an idea as to how they're going to deal with Ember in this matchup.
Absolutely. And as we move forward in this map, what kind of compositions are you thinking that both sides are going to run here?
Now, we have known Biohazard and Gainu to both, well, especially Biohazard, to be a Junkrat player, I believe, and that amount of burst damage, which we have seen over the course of this entire season, has been such a key component in finding those picks, right? The quicker you're able to kill the enemy, the less they're killing you, and the less work the enemy supports have to do to keep them alive, right? So because they're already dead. Like, it's just so much damage, and that Pharah Junkrat combo has been such a powerful one that we've seen all season because of the speed as to which you can take out enemy health bars to the point where nobody's able to really react, right? Um, in Overwatch 2, supports have become very strong. Anna has become very strong. Kiriko has become very strong. Lucio has always been good. And this amount of burst healing that these supports can do these days requires that that amount of damage be dealt back as quickly or nothing dies, right? This is why we've seen the swap over from Soldier to Bastion, who's basically a mobile soldier that does more damage over a shorter period of time. This is the principle that I believe these compositions run off of. So I'm thinking anything with high burst damage. Bastion, Junkrat, Pharah are going to be the three main DPS we see across either one of these teams, and of course we know pressures like Sis Cassidy.
Absolutely. And I love to hear it. Bastion being my favorite character in the game for a long time now. It's really exciting to see Bastion in a playable form, especially one so powerful as it is right now against most tanks, against most really anything that's bold enough to stand in front of it. Bastion just sort of mows down with his ability, especially with any kind of damage burst. You've got a Zenyatta on your team throwing the Discord. You've got Mercy power boosting you. Bastion can be a truly unstoppable force, especially with like pharmacy being so prevalent right now. A good Bastion, even without a pocket, can melt down a Pharah and a Mercy before either one really has time to do anything about it. So Bastion being so powerful now, especially against tanks as well, like Reinhardt kind of just gets melted down even with the shield. Bastion's able just to get right through that. Doomfist kind of just dies as he always has against the Bastion. Junker Queen, becomes really difficult to play against Bastion as well. So there's a lot of tanks. The only exceptions really being kind of Diva or a Zarya sometimes can be
Hmm.
really, a good counter to Bastion. But there's just not much right now besides
Right.
good teamwork that can counter Bastion. So it's super fun to see in a lot of these matchups. And I'm excited to
Absolutely.
see what they do.
No, I agree in full, and I had a thought relating to that. Um, there there are a few counters as you mentioned, but really the main highlight is if if you're walking into a bastion while bastion's in turret form, you're probably not making it out alive. And so that whole note about good teamwork being necessary and game sense being necessary in order to survive that bastion on the enemy team is a fantastic one. And this is the whole reason why we are in an esports league to begin with, right? Teamwork makes the dream work, and without it, you're left with kind of an empty hand. Man, I'm really trying to remember what I was gonna say, but then it doesn't really matter. Who cares, right? What the thoughts are. The point is that the game lies in front of us. We're gonna be heading into Ilios for our first map, as we did beforehand. Oh yes, now I remember. One key important detail about today is that a bunch of patch notes were released, and one of the big buffs we didn't talk about, Imperium, is the fact that Baptiste's immortality field's threshold for health has increased dramatically, up from 10% to 25.
Which, that's quite a bit of health if you consider that every person on the team inside that lamp is going to have it as soon as that lamp falls.
Yep.
That's a pretty big increase, and it's going to make it to where you can't just clean up a team with really any sort of burst damage or really any damage at all as soon as that lamp falls. Now it's going to be, 15% more
Yeah.
difficult to knock down a team after dropping, such a powerful ability like lamp.
Absolutely. And it's going to open up the ability to react to certain things, right? So the lamp falls down, and then you have Kiriko Suzu, right? And they have 15% more time to react to that, right? Or actually, I guess that'd be 150% more time to react to that sort of moment in time where you might need to push forward or you might need to pull back after that lamp pops, right? So it is probably the biggest change I would say in this list of patch notes, the rest just being slight quality of life upgrades or slight buffs to certain heroes, those being Roadhog, Hans, and Hanzo, namely. Um, but of all the changes, I truly believe that Bap's immortality field change could be massive, and we could see more pull towards that Ryan Hart brawl style.
Absolutely. And another change that we haven't mentioned yet, I believe, but we got to see last match was Ash. Now, when she throws Bob out, Bob just doesn't randomly target anymore. Bob will focus on whatever target Ash is shooting at, similar to how Torbjorn's turret reacts to what Torbjorn's shooting at. And that can open up a lot of plays, especially if Ash is shooting at, a low health target. Bob
Hmm.
just instantly turns that target and melts him down just like that. So can be a lot of damage really quick.
Yeah, and it also could very well increase Ash's uh, overall damage, right? So you're playing Ash, you get one headshot onto a Mercy. Excuse me, I apologize. That Mercy doesn't die, but you have a bomb that's gonna immediately start shooting at Mercy, regardless of who's in front of what, right? So
Hmm.
beforehand, Bob could get distracted by a tank. You could have your tank walk in front of that Bob, and typically that Bob would not be able to do enough damage to take care of that tank, right? That tank was able to do their job, take away pressure from their backline, and eat damage as it was coming in. Now, though, unless a tank is physically blocking that turret mode of the bomb, it's not going to be staring at the tank, right? It's not going to be forced to shoot at something it can't kill. Now, Ash is going to be able to follow through with that and really, 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 really get some nice picks. And I'm curious to see if Pressures might actually take that change and swap over to the Ash. I would be very interested to see that. Now we're going to be swapping back over to Ilias once again as we get ready for Croutons versus Ember.
Absolutely. We aren't quite yet able to see what they're rolling out with, but just like you, I think Pressure has a really good chance here to use those changes to their advantage. Pressure with a really strong hit scan background, but as well as the Reapers, so there's really, it's kind of a toss up as to what they're going to play. And I think the same goes for Dapper as well.
Mhm.
We've seen Dapper play so many different characters, such a wide variety, and get so much value with every single one of them.
Absolutely. Not too many surprises. Swinging out for the side of Embers, we got pressures on the Cassidy and Dapper and Pineapple on that pharmacy combo. Like we were talking about before, it worked against Rush. Now we'll have to see if it'll work against the ever increasingly skilled Croutons.
And one thing I want to mention here, the Croutons are rolling out with Bastion, as well as Biohazard on the Zenyatta and Galactic Rose on the Mercy. And we just talked about how much damage a Bastion can do with either Discord Orb or the damage boost from Mercy. And with both of them, Bastion's almost unstoppable.
65% more damage max on a given target. Dapper flanking on the side has that damage boost. Going to be picking off Galactic Rose instantly. The damage beam no longer going to be available, but it is Quest out with the Bastion trying to find anything they can. Not going to get picked off. Dapper will, and they'll be able to retreat back to the point. Sorry, I apologize. Ember going to be the first ones to touch as the rest of Croutons try to push in here.
We see several great picks from the side of Ember, to really just kind of push those kills home, secure the point, just get as much value as they can before the Croutons are able to get back. But Quest right now on the Bastion, just looking for any sort of pick they can get, headshot after headshot, trying to do well and doing a pretty good job of it.
Biohazard, I remember last week being an actually very potent Zenyatta player. Pressure going to be able to pick off Guynib, and Galactic Rose going to try to go for the res. Will get picked off in turn. Gumball not quite able to get there in time, and Pressure going to pick off 2. Might make it 3, but they will get down low. Will get saved by their Mercy just in time, and Ember will continue holding on strong at 36% and counting.
Absolutely, and Lazy Titan on the Orisa, which is a tank I don't believe that we have seen him play as of yet, but already doing a fantastic job of holding space, using E to either get in their face or negate a lot of the damage that they're throwing at him. Her E, she spins the javelin, blocks pretty much every ability or set of damage thrown at him. It really puts both Bastion and Cassie in a really difficult position.
Now they're going to be meeting here in this hallway, and once again they get down super low. The damage from Pressures and Dapper just coming out so strong. The res will get through for Galactic Rose, and the Transcendence comes forward for the side of Croutons. They could definitely use this opportunity to push forward. That is now over, and the high noon comes out from the side of Pressures. It will not get canceled, and with 2 ultimates from the DPS now launched from the side of Ember, they will be cleaning this one up, but not without expending a lot of resources. Ultimate from Lazy Titan to clean it up, and that is going to be almost every ultimate except for Pursuing a Rush. These on the side of Ember, while Croutons are building up more resources.
And you mentioned
95% counting. It's the last fight, 98%. And is somebody going to touch? I didn't realize that happened so fast, and that is going to be it. That's why they all press Q. That makes total sense. I no longer have to be confused.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to talk about how Croutons were ready to come back in here with several ultimates to their name, but I also did not realize they didn't have any time.
Wow, what incredible hold there for the side of Ember, happening so fast, not even we are able to catch on to it, and great stuff. Well, I apologize. Great stuff from them. Don't mind the so regardless, great play there from the side of Ember. I really like the strategy Croutons is trying to go on with, but Ember is doing a great job at punishing positioning and catching out the DPS anytime they try to make a push forward.
Absolutely. And I talked earlier about Lazy Titan's abilities just to make space for the team. As typically we see it on Wrecking Ball, but Lazy Titan does a great job of moving the other team where they want them and getting a lot of value and space for their own team.
So much damage heading the guidance heading in the guidance fake. Electrical is gonna be Porsche's res there. Gets Gainu back up as Dapper gets down to 1 HP, not quite able to pick it off. They are, and Pressures on the side, outputting so much damage. Dapper gets brought back up to full, and now Quest will go down. Now something with the Cassidy. We'll have to see exactly if they're able to make that pay off. Dapper gets down low once again. The Discord or Bastion combo just not quite getting there. Dapper doing such a good job at staying out of line of sight whenever needed, just barely squeezing back into existence. And once again, Ember will be the first ones to capture.
And Pressure doing a fantastic job of playing flank sidelines, getting a lot of places where Croutons just isn't expecting it. And getting pick after pick with that E right click combo or E headshot combo. We see him picked off there by Gumball, though, just getting in their face, doing a lot of work in order to kind of counteract a lot of that.
Immediately resurrected by Pineapple though, and that stuck grenade's gonna be able to find Quest. What looked like a winnable fight with the side of Croutons got so close. Guy was able to pick up Blaze's Titan. Now it's a DPS fight right now. Pressures gets a beautiful headshot on the Biohazard and uses the high noon to try to finish off Gainu, but it's not gonna be enough. And Gainu picks off 2. He will eventually get traded by Gainu was able to trade off Pineapple, and actually it's Dapper remaining standing and nobody there for the side of Croutons to clean up.
You see Low Reaper finally making it there, throwing a bit of healing Dapper's way, but now, Ember has made their way back for this fight against Croutons right on the point.
We're going to be seeing a Pharah fight come out. Pressures, oh my goodness, he's able to clean up with the help of Dapper. Oh, beautiful boop, though, going to be sending 2 off the edge. Come on, it's insane. 500 to pick out Dapper. The Res Rush comes from the side of Galactic Rose. Beautiful push there from the side of Croutons, and they will be getting the flip here. Marvelously done.
A great pick there from Gainoob in order to really clean it up, picking off their last support. But what a crazy environmental play there, waiting out the Fortify from the other Orisa, and as soon as it ends, using that E to push 2 of their players right into the well.
Yeah, we thought Hog would be the well. We thought Hog would be used for the well. We thought with that hook boost it would happen, but Quest can back in that barrage fighting too. But no, it is the Orisa instead finding the environmental kills we were expecting for so long. Pressures and the rest of the backline now caught out for the side of Ember. Will they get staggered? Pressures is down low, is getting pressured out, but he will be able to return the rest of his team, and Croutons will continue holding strong.
And now, Ember's the one being forced back to their own spawn with those 2 early picks from Quest. Or, give him a bit more time. We see him already approaching 50%. But Ember coming back here strong with a few ultimates. You got 3 ultimates online right now, ready to roll. Super excited to see what they do with those.
Oh, a little bit of a teleport mishap. I think that was a glitch, actually. Pressure's able to pick off Gainu and Quest and make that 2 as the DPS from the side of Ember are just going insane. And what a beautiful boot from Dapper, returning the favor that Gumball was able to pull off in the previous fight. Now 80% and counting here as multiple ultimates online for the side of Ember. And this is down to the last fight.
And we see Ember now still with 3 ultimates. Roll for this defense, it's going to be final fight. We aren't going to let that sneak up on us again this time. Final fight, Ember's got 3 ultimates, but they're down 1, and Croutons are coming in with their 2.
Gumball will be able to touch it, and there's a beautiful Terror Surge going to be picking off Dapper and getting the sports down low. The Valkyrie comes up from the side of Pineapple, trying to keep the rest of the team alive, but it's just not enough. Gainu picks off 2. Blaze's Titan and Pineapple both go down, and that will be another clean fight win for the side of Croutons. Ultimates only available for the side of Ember, but it's only 1, and it's Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, they've got the 1 ultimate, but Croutons are getting really close to having 3 of their own. With only 25 seconds left on their side, really any pick here could be the game-winning pick.
This is going to be getting into last fight territory for these teams, as Low Rep are going to be looking for that Kitsune Rush set up. Not going to be quite going through, and there is the bombardment from the enemy Bastion. It's absolutely massive with the teamwork of Gumball with the boop. I've never seen it get 3. That is 3 massive picks for the side of Gainu. He will eventually get picked off. Pressures tries his darndest to clutch the match, and Lazy Titan will go down too. Croutons take the next map.
Yeah, Croutons take that point after the crazy ultimate there from Gainoob on the Bastion. Bastion's ultimate now, Artillery Strike, isn't something we see typically getting a lot of value. It's a really difficult ultimate to place. But with that help there, we saw it get absolutely crazy amount of value. We got 3 solid picks there just like that. That 1 ultimate again, deciding that map.
And it was too hype. Gumball said, that's my play. That's it. I'm not doing anymore. I've done enough. I leave. Not
Yep.
really, but it was huge. And oh man, I mean Ember is such a solid team, but I'm getting goosebumps from the progress Croutons has made over the past couple of weeks, and that Gumball E into booping everybody into the Bastion bombardment was so clean, so beautifully executed. I mean, if I was in this game, I would be jumping up and down and high-fiving my teammates. So
Absolutely.
fantastic execution from the side of Croutons. Ember still has very high mechanics, very good teamwork, but Croutons is showing up today, and they are making this a challenge. We're gonna be getting right back into the match. What a game!
Absolutely. Um, and we talked about how important it is in order to secure those fights, but there's just nothing you can do if with an ultimate, a crazy play like that, puts you down 2-5. That's you can't. There's nothing you can do there to stop
Yeah,
that. Just a crazy play, allowing them to secure that. And just looking at the stats right now, um, Pressure and Dapper doing an insane amount of damage
and
for
we
their
have
team.
once again another pause as we have probably some internet issues happening. It happens. We've all been there. We're doing it live, and it's how it rolls here. But that's all right. So as we're gonna be continuing to wait just a little bit longer to get in the excitement, I want to talk about about stats. Right, we've got them right in front of our face here. If you look at the overall damage numbers for the side of Ember, they are crushing it. They are having the better numbers as far as damage wise against their Croutons counterparts, and that's why it goes to show that stats aren't always key, right? Stats aren't always a thing that tell you exactly how a game is going because while Ember has the better numbers, Croutons did win that last map and had some bonkers teamwork to show for it. Um, and I just wanted to highlight that. So like, stats don't always mean everything. If they are outlandish, yes. If in a case, uh, Penguin has 9,700 healing on the first point of Rialto, yes, stats mean something. But in certain cases, it is all about teamwork and it is about keeping your head in the game and focusing and executing a plan with teammates. And that's what Overwatch is about. And we are going to see that in full, and I believe that in full in this match.
Absolutely. And, moving into this map on Ilios here, the ruins aspect of it, I think Croutons have a really good chance here of being able to do the same thing they just did.
Mhm.
I mean, Gumball had some crazy environmental picks, and that's not something that's, typically possible on this map. But even without that, I think this map really kind of plays into the strengths that the Croutons are bringing to this matchup here. A lot of more open sight lines, forcing them through a lot of choke points.
True.
I think Bastion with the Discord orb and the damage boost, like they've been feeding so much of it into,
Mhm.
can really do a lot. Especially if Gumball, on the Orisa, really just kind of keeps running right into their faces, buying space for that Bastion to kind of get pick after pick. And even Quest. I mean, if you look at it right now, Quest doing an insane job too of picking up a lot of this damage. Um,
Yep.
but with the Pharah, Pharah just you land one rocket and they're already below half health.
Yep.
Most non-tanks are going to be below half health. So that makes it really easy to just throw an orb on or, anything that happens there. Bastion's able to really clean that up. And, that's some really exciting team play there from the aspect of that. But um, on the topic of teamwork, like we've mentioned, it seems like croutons are working so well together. Like every single thing they do seems to be planned out
Mhm.
in a way that benefits the team. Like I think the greatest example of it is that final ultimate that won them that last tick. We saw the Pharah boop them in as soon as that's caused. That's a lot. That's a lot of great teamwork, and that takes a
Yep.
great deal of communication as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, I do want to point out, like, we talk about Croutons a lot because they have improved a lot over the season. They were not, honestly, if I'm gonna be entirely honest, they were not this skilled as a team in the beginning of the season, and it's just great to watch this growth because now we see the potential that they have. But I also want to point out because we don't want to shower croutons with so much love that we downplay Ember's success. They're 4-0 for a reason. They're
Oh yeah.
undefeated for a reason. They have been top of the game this entire season, even in week 5. We are past the halfway point at this point. And as we get back into the game, I just want to highlight that Ember themselves have fantastic gameplay ideas and executions, namely in just the support DPS relationship that have been going on with Pressures and Dapper, along with Lol Repper and Pineapple. Like, that is the highlight of this team. You're seeing Lazy Titan on the ball, a favorite pick of his, getting them nice E and a nice power drive in the backline. Not going to be finding anybody just yet, as Croutons keep pressing forward.
And back onto that kind of ball tracer comp really plays into what Ember has shown to be insanely strong in the past.
Guy able to pick off Pressures. First picking them fight. Pineapple gets the resurrection on Pressures though, and Pressures able to return with the Zenyatta. The hit scan, one of the hit scan stars on Ember. Finding more and more picks. Dapper's able to pick off Gainu. Now both DPS traded for the side of Croutons, and that resurrection comes back in full swing from the side of Pineapple, who will eventually fall, but it will solidify Ember's first fight win.
And a great E there from Pressure with the magnetic grenade to pick off Quest on the Pharah. Really helping the team to clean up those picks. And, great plays all around from the teamwork with Lazy Titan and Dapper on the ball tracer combo.
Ultimate's already built for several of our players. Pressure's able to pick off K-West, but Biohazard's able to trade out with Dapper. That Zenyatta coming out strong in the mechanics. Lazy Titan not able to disrupt the resurrection as they might have hoped, as Quest will be back into the fight. Biohazard off on the flank here, trying to find any picks they can. Careful not to overexpose themselves. Oh, we'll get a very nice volley out of Pressures, who will get healed back up. That was very close. Lazy Titan activates some mines in the backline. Pressures able to pick off Quest, and now this is a split. Croutons, Pressures finds two. Biohazard goes down in the 1v1. Dapper's able to pick off Gumball, and this is a very dominant showing here from the side of Ember in this opening of Ilios Ruins.
And Pressure there with the insane plays. I think picking off two with the headshots, and then using the ultimate to pick off two more, really securing that fight for the side of Ember. And we see a few changes from the Croutons now, swapping more towards a Monkey Reaper type brawl, like dive comp here.
Interesting with the Monkey. We don't see him a whole lot playing, and Pressure's gonna be picking off Biohazard, who gets away with a flank. Gets away with a backline flank, but Dapper's gonna take a tumble. Gumball trying to pressure out Pressure. Pressure's taking Pressure. Power drive comes in from the side of Lazy Titan. It's beautiful, but it's not quite enough. Guy Noob has the Blossom that could be absolutely huge here, as 80% and counting. This is now in the last fight. Galactic Rose activating the Valkyrie, gets followed up with the Transcendence and the Death Blossom. All the Q's pressed from the side of the Croutons, and they're going to be cleaning this one up very nicely.
Absolutely, and with one more ultimate coming soon from Gumball, Croutons with that great flip, and Ember not left with too much in order to counteract that. They've got the Kitsune Rush coming soon as well, but not much they could do there. And the switch from Gumball, already paying off a little bit, putting a bit more pressure on Pressure, like you said, and it seems to be paying off pretty well so far.
Biohazard's actually going to pick off Pressures, who tried to chase after the enemy Monkey. Guidum's going to pick off Dapper, and that's going to be another clean fight, an early fight win from the side of Croutons, as they're going to continue to gain more and more progress here. Galactic Rose is doing a great job at not denying any value Lazy Titan could get from those dives, aside from ultimate charge.
And we already see Gainu doing pretty great work on the Reaper, and Quest now on the Bastion, getting quite a bit of value, really helping to focus down the Wrecking Ball, not allowing Ball to get in there as much as they would like. It's paying off pretty well for the side of Croutons already.
Under my protection.
Pressures has the high noon, the low repper has the continuing rush. They have the ultimate advantage. The Gumball has got the primal. Heavy Force to use it here does indeed do it, and sends Pressure trying to careen him off the edge. Not quite enough though. Lazy Titan in the back line, giving a little bit of hell as he's able to activate the minefield. Takes so much damage though from that Bastion. He's not gonna get quite picked off, but Pineapple and Pressures both go down from the side of Biohazard. The damage gen is absolutely crazy. He's able to find 3, and Dapper gets pressured out. He's down to 82 HP. Crouton doing a great job here as he gets picked off by Gainu. Dapper does. Lazy Titan, the only one remaining here, as he's gonna try to find any value he can before he dies. And this is going to be a last fight here, actually, for the side of Croutons. They're going to activate ultimates to keep anybody off point. Will anybody be able to touch as it is ticking down? Gumball trying to hold on for as long as possible, but it's just not enough. They're able to touch on overtime. Last second contest. The Transcendence counters the barrage. Dapper doesn't get anything from that as well. And Guidance there to pick off pressures as well. Beautiful Blossom finds it, and Croutons will be taking Ilios 1 as Lazy Titan tries to buy any time they can, but that's so much damage going his way. The Discord Orb doing so much against that ball HP. Lazy Titan, though, doing a great job of staying on. Will he be able to do it? No. Croutons take Ilios, and what a beautiful performance coming out from both of these teams. Croutons swinging it back.
Absolutely insane plays all around from the Croutons there.
We're going to see Dapper here with a beautiful barrage. Able to find two, almost able to cancel out the res. But it doesn't matter. Gets booped into the hole. And this is what I mean, right? Wow. We have a hydrate. The freaking casters. And I appreciate it.
Thank you.
What in the world have we watched?
And I don't even know what to say, honestly. Croutons there, just making some pretty necessary changes and it paying off tremendously. We saw Guy Noob swap to Reaper, Gumball swapped to Monkey because pressure was really kind of just getting pick after pick, doing so much damage. But Gumball just said no and kind of just kept constantly jumping in pressure's face, not allowing them to get those kills anymore, and that really made it hard for Ember to come back against that, especially with Guy Noob there on the Reaper, following up on all the jumps that Monkey made, getting those picks that Monkey themselves could not, and Gumball and Guy Noob working so well together, just as Lazy Titan and Dapper had at the beginning, but with a Bastion, a Reaper, a Monkey, and then Mercy Zen to really just increase that damage such a crazy amount. Wrecking Ball, we saw several times, Lazy Titan just got melted so fast.
Yeah. And that's kind of crazy considering the amount of HP that Ball can get. I believe it's up to like 1300 is the max. An entire Reinhardt shield that can move at Mach 5. Just getting obliterated. And that's not to the fault of Lazy Titan. The Croutons is just on a new level. As we've said plenty of times, they are just ascending as the weeks go by. And I can't wait to see where they will be in the next few weeks. And this is going to be interesting. We're going to be going into Junkertown for our next map. I do like the funny thing is like Ember has lost their last two fights because Croutons did a great job at holding on to ultimates, right? We saw it in the first map. We saw the Bastion Barrage kill 3 on last fight. We saw on Ruins. We saw the Blossom kill 2 as well. And then was immediately followed up by Guy Noob with another shotgun kill. So that was 3 there. This is such a key component when it comes to Overwatch is ult management, and both teams are doing an exceptional job at it. Croutons is just finding the opportunities to capitalize when it matters the most.
Absolutely. And we're moving now to Junkertown, which I think is a great choice from Ember for their final map. I think we've seen Junkertown a couple times, and every time Ember has been able to hold the enemy team into first point. I don't think Ember has allowed any team to come past that first point, to get past that first choke, secure the first checkpoint, and move the spawns up. I think, especially we talked about a couple weeks ago, their map against Rush. Both teams held up at that first point. So this is a pretty great one for Amber as well. It allows them to get a lot of sight lines, have some good plays. So I think this is a really solid choice on their part. But that being said, Junkertown really plays into a lot of the strengths that the current Croutons comp runs on.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I didn't really think about that, but I think you might be right. I don't think we've seen point 2 of Junkertown and Oath this year, which is crazy considering how much it's been played. This is definitely a comfort pick from the side of Ember. And what will be interesting is we're going to see they're not going to change anything, right? It worked against the number 1 team in the league right now, so why fix what isn't broken?
It looks like they will be running the Torbjorn though, which is another really smart pick on their side, in my opinion. We're gonna be paused here just for a second, which gives me a little bit more time to talk about it, thankfully. But Dapper with the Torbjorn swap can really do a lot there because Torbjorn has a lot of burst damage, gonna really help to focus down Gumball on the monkey, and Turret can really help contest a lot of the crazy flankers. Mercy Zen now really have to play a bit more safely.
Mhm.
So does Quest. We see Quest on Pharah now. That's really gonna make it difficult unless they're able to focus down that turret. Because that bit of extra damage from that turret is gonna be really difficult to work around unless again the teamwork
Mhm.
has to do a lot there in order to get around that. But as we've seen so far, if any team excels in their teamwork, it's the Croutons.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially this week. I mean, they've flipped a switch somewhere along the lines. We saw their slow improvement over the season, and now they've hit what I would consider to be not a plateau, but a peak in what they've been so far. Um, I was going to mention something. I keep losing train of thought. It's what happens when you don't drink enough water, ladies and gentlemen.
It's
But
true.
we're gonna be restarting Junkertown. It looks like, considering. Oh, never mind. Never mind. We're still on pause. I thought. Um. Um. Okay, we are on pause. We are restarting Junkertown. And we will be resetting, considering that the doors had just opened when Gumball DC'd. So it makes sense. And
Absolutely.
yeah, both these teams have been great. They've been fantastic. I've really enjoyed watching them both play. I'm proud of Crouton's growth, and I can't wait to see exactly what the outcome of this is.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we've mentioned so many times, Croutons just in 5 weeks have really shown a great deal of growth, not just in their gameplay on an individual level, but also their ability to work as a team, to
Mm-hmm.
communicate. A lot of really important skills that you have to have, not just as a player, but as a person. Um, a lot of development there can go a long ways, as we're seeing now, just in this game alone, them being able to not just go toe to toe against a team that has not seen a loss all season, but also take a map off of them. A feat in which only Rush once has been able to do so far this season.
Yeah, and that was 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
They didn't lose one last week, and I it is the competitive level that Oath is at right now is astounding, and I can't say that I'm more glad to be a part of it, as we're going to be experiencing this growth continue when this development happen, and that is, like we mentioned before, the entire point of Oath, right? So it is the pinnacle of Oath is the growth that we see these players and what they turn into as they continue playing with us, right? We've had multiple outside ventures in other tournaments. We've had now we have a foundations core, which basically, gets you measures where you're at, and sticks you into where you need to be in order to grow the best, right? So this is really, really a perfect example, actually, a perfect example, I will say, of what Oath is trying to accomplish, and that they've accomplished it greatly. They've made these teams grow. Thunder has made these players grow, and the team that is surrounded under Croutons has become phenomenal. And might I point out that these two teams are, Thunder, who is clearly transformed Croutons into something else, and Chicken Joe, who is, I think, a two-time winning champion of Oath, and also the most zen guy on the planet. So it doesn't surprise me that we're seeing this be so close.
Absolutely. And, again, that makes me so excited for the playoffs in a few weeks. To see, the last 2 weeks, we've seen teams that hadn't seen a great deal of success, just show up almost out of nowhere and do extremely well against an undefeated team. We saw, Glitch last week do really good against Ember for several points. They weren't able to beat them, but, still a super
Mhm.
strong showing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, um, Yeah, it was, and that's it's curious to me if croutons have finally reached a level where uh they can touch the pedestal that Ember has held on all season, right? Um, and that is what I'm looking forward to in this match. On Junkertown, right, where as you mentioned, this is Ember's most powerful pick. This is the
Hmm.
one where they show we're not playing around, and I even think it could be a way to sort of break the mental of the enemy, right? Because Ember, as you mentioned, have not let this get past 1 point. I think that's true. I think that's factual. I don't think we've seen past that little window uh, that snipers really like to sit into, and it is going to be a challenge for Croutons to push forward here. But they have shown up. So we're going to be heading into the game, and as we mentioned before, not a lot of changes. Well, actually, things have changed.
We have seen a couple changes here. We see the Ramadra from Lazy Titan. Dapper now playing Soldier instead of the Torbjorn. Those are two pretty interesting changes. I think Ramadra can help to counter Gumball on the Monkey just a little bit, but I think overall that kind of gives Croutons a little bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, I would say so. Oh, uh, you know, what we're really gonna be seeing is like the tank lineup, I think, here between Lazy Titan and Gumball, right? Gumball
Hmm.
is playing a tank that likes to move around, likes to stall out DPS, but can't do a whole lot of damage. Whereas Ramantra can't be quite as mobile, but when he is a force to be reckoned with and does a ton of damage. So this is going to be very interesting here, as Guy Noob has a lot of support behind him, going to be keeping him up and around. Gumball gets down low, will get put back up eventually here, but Gainoob gets flanked around, tries to contest the point for as long as possible, will eventually get picked off, and Pineapple picks off Resurrects Dapper. Now 3.5 minutes on the clock still, and Croutons will be forced to play back.
And we see Gainu with the quick swap over to the Reaper, and I think that's definitely a very smart choice to play a bit more with Gumball. We saw it be done with a great deal of success last round. Um, so I think that's a really smart choice, especially Quest still on the Pharah and both supports down for the side of Croutons. It's going to be really tricky now as Ember pushes this card a bit more forward.
Absolutely. Ember has a massive spawn advantage right now, so as much, as impressive as it is that Croutons is getting these picks here, you've really got to be careful because any little bit of an overextension and you will get punished for it. We see their Quest and Gumball do eventually go down. Ember recognizing that mistake and capitalizing on it quite well. Now it's just Guiding in the back line. He might get picked off here. He will. And now Ember will be pushing around the first and possibly second corner.
Another small change we see here from the side of the Croutons is Quest now on the Ash instead of the Pharah.
Pressures shooting up in that window, not letting anybody get any amount of room to breathe. Biohazard goes down, and the Resurrection already forced out from the side of Galactic Rose. Nice dive in there from the side of Gumball, still trying to keep this backline back, but I think Carnage, or I think Lazy Titan, I apologize, we've seen him on the mantra so many times. Lazy Titan is keeping Gumball away so efficiently, and so is Pressures. Even with the Transcendence, not able to get there in time, and now it's up to Croutons to find any value they can to stop for as long as possible. 2 minutes on the clock here from the side of Ember, and they are rolling through.
And Crouton's investing both support ultimates into this last fight, but Ember's showing super strong, and you're able to flip this now while still holding on to two of their own ultimates.
Gumball sneaking around the backhand side of Ember as he is going to get found by the enemy launcher. Probably best to leave at this point. Will do so. Retreat to the back of his team. He will get picked up by Galactic Rose, and they will be able to escape. Just in time for Ember to set up an actual defense here.
Guy Noob now with the Blossom. Maybe looking to get that sneaky pick off in the back line.
Gumball diving in the backline, able to pick off Pressures without anybody stepping in to stop him. He gets a beautiful primal out there, but it is going to be returned with Annihilation from Lazy Titan, who will eventually have it burned away from him, and it is Croutons with the upper hand here. Guy Noob activating that beautiful Death Blossom, able to find 2, make that 3. Gets cleaned up by Quest.
Absolutely amazing Death Blossom there. You know, we kind of saw it coming as Kainu just moved in the center, patiently waited for Lazy Titan's shield to drop before dropping that ultimate, picking off those 3, and then moving forward to try to pick off those extra 2 right there. And Biohazard with the great pick on Pineapple right after the res. Now, giving the Croutons a bit more time to contest before Ember gets back into this point.
Biohazard getting 2 picks off, and oh my goodness, what a trade from the side of Biohazard Pressures. What an intense 1v1 there. It does look like it is going to go the way of Ember, though, as Gainoom is the only one remaining. The Mega gets stolen from him by Lazy Titan. That was a very big brain play. Gumball, now the last one standing, and he will try to retreat to his teammates. I don't know if he's going to make it, per se. No, he won't. And now Ember's going to be pushing around the last corner into the second point.
And a great stagger there from Ember on Gumball now. But we see Bob come out ready to fight.
Bob gets downed immediately. His pressure puts out so much damage that the High Noon comes through to block the hallway. Gonna keep Croutons from pressuring out anything at all. The Transcendence to keep Biohazard alive. His pressures picks off Quest once again. And that will be a point capture with 2 minutes on the clock.
And Pressure with all these crazy mechanical skills, headshot after headshot it seems. Landing every single magnetic grenade, it feels like. There's absolutely some absolutely insane picks for Pressure, picking off Crouton after Crouton as they come in one by one after the point. I think Croutons really just need to get a solid reset and a good fight here coming up in order just to engage as a full team, because that's not something we really saw after those last few fights, 4.2.
And this is the beauty of Junker Town for the side of Ember. They're just constantly putting on pressure. There's the continuing rush, not even allowing them, along with that combination with Dapper's Tac Visor, not even allowing Croutons to really get that full fight. They're going to pick up 2, but Gainu from the ceiling is going to pick up 2 back. Dapper's going to eventually take out Gumball, and Gainu's going to be taken down as well from Dapper and from Lazy Titan. But 2 picks off now, and it is up to Croutons to start winning these fights as Quest gets picked off, will eventually by Pineapple by the Battle Mercy. Now, this is going to be last fight, and neither team has any ultimates online except for the tanks. We're building them up slowly but surely.
And now it's Croutons with a huge spawn advantage moving into this.
Low Ember will get picked up, and it is just going to be the Mercy online for the side of Ember. They're going to continue pressing forward here. Biohazard and Gumball find picks, but it is traded out. Now, though, Croutons is the one with the spawn advantage, so if they can hold on for long enough, and that is an Elisa's key component, they could get a very nice chance to come back here. Lots of damage coming up from the side of Pressure, though. You can't leave that Cassidy, that Cassidy alive. And he continues to find those picks. Electros and Gumball both go down. He's able to pick off Gainu before he's able to touch the point. Quest tries to come out. Dapper's able to shoot him down, and that will be 3-point push for the side of Ember with 1:43 remaining.
Pressure there again with pick after pick. We saw 2 final blows from headshots in that last fight alone, and I'm curious to see the amount of ultimates Pressure was able to get on the Cassidy there. And here we go, looking at the stats, we see Pressure using only 2 ultimates, it seems, but I swear they had more nudes than that. But I guess I'm wrong.
I mean, hey, it would have been cool to see, but still, though, that damage coming out from just the side of Ember, actually, because Dapper was doing tons of work there on the Soldier, especially whenever we looked at that Kitsune rush around the last corner into the Tac Visor, just adding so much DPS pressure into the mix of Croutons that they weren't able to sustain, and that allowed Ember to get a pretty clean push into the final point.
Absolutely. And, that Kitsune rush being made even more powerful with the Mercy boost from Pineapple. That extra damage on top of that extra fire rate, that's just a crazy amount of damage pumped into the enemy team so fast.
We're going to be seeing Dapper swap over to the far end now, as we're going to be getting a pharmacy battle. Quest, Dapper, and Galactic Rose and Pineapple.
Absolutely. Now with Ember on the defense, again, Ember has yet to let a single team pass the first checkpoint on this map.
Both teams come out with their respective Faras, immediately firing shots, trying to find as much value as they can. Gumball back on the Monkey, trying to put out any pressure he can, but Gainu as well, he will get picked off by pressures eventually. And this is a very patient defense here from the side of Ember. They're not getting aggressive, they're not pushing forward. They're playing it safe, and even though Gumball is putting on tons of pressure under pressure, he's gonna get bailed out by that Mercy eventually, and will get picked off.
And again, a great play from pressure there, or from Gumball there, putting that pressure on pressure. Um, but again, the save from the supports and Lazy Titan with the back peel really helped them out.
You gotta take care of that Cassidy, who's just constantly getting pocketed. So, I mean, what are you gonna do? This is a very high demand from inside of Quest on Croutons. Gainu driving that Bastion, as you mentioned as well, but they are gonna be able to eventually get it. Pressures and Pineapple both go down, and this is what they needed. That swap over to the Bastion was exactly what they needed to burst down that back and front line. Now with only 2 remaining, Dapper might get picked off here. Very intense battle in the air right now. Biohazard is able to pick off Dapper, and that will be Crouton pushing in the last corner of first point.
And we're seeing some great team plays from the side of Croutons yet again.
High Noon comes through. It's going to pick off Galactic Rose and Guy Noob, who might have thought that they were safe. There's going to be an immediate 2 picks. It will get traded out. He will get traded out by a Biohazard, but it won't be quite enough. And there's only 1 or maybe 2 remaining for the side of Croutons. Gumball will be forced to retreat to team back up with his friends, and Ember will stop the push.
And now it's Ember with the advantage here as they have their full 5 set up on the point, but Croutons again with that spawn advantage already ready to go and push into him, but we see only an ult on each side, a couple on the way for both teams. You know, it's really anyone's game right now.
Lazy Titan going to be pushing him forward with that brawl form. The Transcendence comes here from the side of Croutons to keep them up and alive. Quest activates the barrage, but it's not going to find any value, and Pressure's going to be the first one to pick off Biohazard. No pick step for the side of Croutons as they tried their darndest with multiple ultimates to find anything they could. Quest going to be eventually picking off Low Repper, and this looks like with a minute and a half, Croutons going to be sent back to spawn. They still have Valkyrie alive, but Ember's got 2 ultimates of their own.
And then the pick there on Gumball, securing that fight win, and now putting a little bit of a stagger there for Gumball. Now Croutons having to wait patiently for their tank to arrive once again.
Biohazard able to pick off Dapper, and Pineapple is able to force to use Res there, so for 30 seconds they don't have the ability to bring a teammate back. Guy Noob has that bombardment. We'll see if it comes through. Gumball gets down super low, but so does Lazy Titan. There it is, the bombardment. Able to find 1. Low Repper goes down, and with 45 seconds remaining, that could be huge. Pressures gets down to 1 HP as well, but will be saved by the front line. And this is Biohazard. Last one remaining. Once again, Croutons going to be sent back, and they got 1 more chance to do this, and we're seeing another repeat. Ember getting a full hole here on Junkertown.
And Gainu now with the swap to Junkrat, you know, hopefully trying to get just that little bit of extra burst damage on the enemy team. Could prove to be valuable.
Pineapple activates the Valkyrie to keep Lazy Titan up and around. Pressure's able to pick off Guy Noob to open it up. 12 seconds remaining now, and Ultimate's just coming online. Biohazard finally has the Transcendence there. The Resurrection comes through for the side of Quest, but Galactic Rose goes down to save it. Biohazard's able to take out Lazy Titan without using that Transcendence, and now the Transcendence comes on through, trying to give anybody any amount of time they can, keeping Quest alive, but Quest will go down regardless. Pressure's doing so much work here. He's able to pick off 3, and Dapper's able to clean up Gumball. Overtime is ticking down. Nobody's going to be able to touch. That will be it, and Ember will take Junkertown.
Ember again with the full hold there on Junkertown. Absolutely crazy.
I mean, it is their comfort map, so we say. It is one where they are very strong, very happy to play this map. Pressure's picking up 2. I mean, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Absolutely nothing there. You know, it's just tap, tap. And then you're back in the spawn room. You know, some crazy plays there from Pressure throughout that entire matchup. You know, we saw pick after pick. You know, getting Biohazard doing a great job of contesting that, though, on the Zenyatta. But it seemed like every time, you know, Pressure was able to get off that magnetic grenade, and it was just a trade. So, really insane picks. But Dapper as well, with the insane amounts of damage. Like, we didn't see it as much in the kill feed, but, you know, that damage really goes a long ways in securing those picks, you know, allowing their teammates to secure those picks. So, the DPS pair there, Pressure and Dapper, really had a fantastic showing in that map. And, I'm willing to bet that it continues on to this next matchup. We don't know what exact point we're going to go up into yet, but we do know that it is a hybrid, I believe.
Penguin is coming in for Galactic Rose. We've seen Penguin be an incredible Mercy before. As we've mentioned before, almost 10,000 healing on the first point of Rialto hold, which is just ridiculous and completely alien. And
Absolutely.
did I say the word ridiculous? Um, but to the point of now, this is Crouton's map pick. So Ember no longer has Junkertown to rely on. They no longer have Junkertown to um fall on to be their instant win button, right? So while Ember are a very solid team, they are in Crouton's territory, and considering the amount of teamwork that Croutons have shown us in the series, you'd think that they'd have a very, 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 very solid plan for this map. And so I'm curious to see what exactly that would be.
Absolutely. And again, with Croutons
And it's
having
King's
the
Row.
map choice and they pick King's Row, already looking forward to that. We had the opportunity earlier to talk about how crazy the King's Row matches of choose, but Ember, every time on King's Row, getting a win. So I think this probably would have been their choice as well. But I'm really thinking that this might be the craziest match we've seen since the Kings Row 2 weeks
Whoa,
ago.
whoa, whoa,
So
whoa! No, 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 no. I appreciate the hype, but there is such thing as caster cursings. Let's knock on wood real quick.
that's
Let's knock
true.
on wood. I don't know if you have any wood to knock on. I just knocked on my desk.
I
Um,
knocked on my desk as well.
but it is sure to be entertaining regardless of the outcome of the match. I am quite excited considering the absolute phenoms we have on both of these teams. And it is going to be an adventure for sure. So, considering Kings Row and considering what we've seen prior to this with the tunnels, with the lanes, with the high grounds you can access, any idea, sort of theory perhaps that either of these teams are going to come out with?
Honestly, I think we're a lot more likely to see a Junkrat play from one side or the other, whether it's Guy Noob or Dapper. I think Dapper played a little bit of Junkrat in the past. I'm really expecting to see Junkrat. All the choke points and everything that goes on in Kings Row really makes Junkrat pretty powerful, but I doubt the pharmacy is going to go anywhere. We're probably going to see a lot more of that throughout this matchup. Um,
Probably.
the Monkey Reaper is still really powerful. I wouldn't be surprised if they stay on that. But one thing I do want to say real quick before I forget is we are seeing a team swap. So now we're seeing
Okay,
Ember in the blue on the left and Croutons in the red on the right.
understandable. Makes sense. Thank you for that update because I totally would have missed it and then called them the wrong team the entire time. Anyway, regardless, we're going to be saying exactly what these teams are going to be pulling out here in just a few seconds. So I'm more than excited to see exactly what both these teams have planned.
Oh
And
yeah.
once again, we've got a bit of a. Oh wait, never mind. I forgot the side swap. I was like, we've got a strategy swap for both of these teams. That's really interesting. Never mind. We're seeing the same thing, but it has been a formidable same thing to say the least.
Absolutely. And we're seeing from the side of Croutons now back to what did so well for them in that first bit of Ilios. They got the Orisa, got the Reaper back with the Reaper on Guy Noob, and I think Reaper does a great job here, especially in the hands of Guy Noob for this map. We've got Quest and Penguin on the pharmacy, Biohazard on his truly impressive Zenyatta play. I'm really excited for this one.
Absolutely. And immediately Biohazard getting that nice volley, getting 15% ult charge already in the opening 5 seconds. Quest immediately finds a pick on a Dapper's turret form though. And I do like the strategy coming on both these teams. They decide putting up, getting pressured so much though. Eventually Precious will be able to take that pressure off of him. Finds two, Guynoob and Quest both go down. And Ember will continue holding on strong. But boy, was that a lot of damage coming in to Lazy Titan's face.
No joke. And like we mentioned earlier, the Torbjorn pick for Dapper I think is absolutely genius because Torbjorn is just allowed to do so much damage. And the turret really serves almost a little bit as an extra teammate with that bit of burst damage, placed in the right place. The other team has to turn away and focus it. So I'm really excited to see what Dapper's able to do on the Torbjorn.
Quest getting down low on the Pharah as pressures and Quest sort of match off. Dapper's turret once again goes down after getting picked off. And Lazy Titan will once again get pressed forward here. But you've got to get past that Ramontra, and the high noon comes through as well. Nobody's going to get picked off by it. They're smart enough not to do so. Quest gets down to 1 HP. Will he survive it? No, he won't, but he does have spawn advantage here. Transcendence now out for the side of Croutons. They're going to press forward here regardless of being down 1. Pressure's not going to be phased at all. He's able to pick up Gainoob, and Dapper shooting into the back line of Croutons. Going to be doing so much damage as well. This Torb, very, very, very nice pick here. They actually do get picked back. Gumbo's able to pick up pressures, and Lazy Titan goes down as well. Biohazard takes down Lazy Titan, and now it's just Dapper on the point along with Lol Repper, trying to stay alive for as long as possible. Pinkling gets down. Biohazard's able to pick. Biohazard goes down to Dapper, and the Molten Core gets activated, trying to keep any bit of Croutons out of the equation as they can, and that will be a refooting for the side of Ember as they get it back.
Absolutely, Croutons did a great job of, using their movement and using their ultimates to get past that super important choke point there. But Dapper, with the crazy plays there, buying Ember more time, getting the couple extra picks to allow them to prevent the Croutons from flipping that, in an excellent play there.
Once again, Lazy Titan going into this draw form, and really, there's just so much damage. Now the Annihilation ultimate coming out from the side of Lazy Titan. Gumball trying their darnest to keep Lazy Titan away. They will actually burst them down. Pineapple goes down as well, having been forced to retreat. Gainoob will clean up with a beautiful Blossom, finds the remaining 3, and that is a team kill that will probably solidify this hold. Ember will be regaining a defense here on the first corner.
The great Death Blossom from Gainoob and the fantastic Valkyrie from Penguin really helped to allow them to secure that. But now they still have 2 ultimates coming online soon. Biohazard with the Transcendence and Gumball with the Orisa ultimate ready to go. But Ember as well, having 2 ultimates, almost 4 of their own ready to go. It's really, an exciting matchup here as they move past this sort of U-shaped choke into the first bit of round 2.
Gumball will go immediately in and try to use that Terra Surge. Not quite able to find anything, but Gainoob's able to take out pressures as he gets a little bit of damage onto him. Dapper's able to take out Gumball to trade it in, and Pineapple gets the resurrection on pressures. Now all picks from Croutons have been taken out, and it will be Ember fighting a very nice hold here. Wow. That Mercy pick, incredibly important.
Absolutely. And, Dapper with that ultimate there, the Molten Core, throwing the lob all around in perfect positioning there to prevent them from being able to really step on point. Got a lot of value, allowing them to secure those extra picks, buying them quite a bit more time. But they did have to use 3 ults to do it.
So much damage going into Gumball, and he's going to be forced to retreat, but Lazy Titan's down as well. The attack visor coming in from the side of Quest does so much damage. Now the High Noon return as well. Biohazard going to be taking out regardless. Flanking around the side, catching pressures off guard. Takes down 2. The man cannot be stopped. He's a crazy Zenyatta. Might almost be 3. And Lazy Titan will be the last one remaining. He will get taken down by Biohazard as well. 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes on the clock now for the side of Croutons as they push around the final corner to point B.
Not too often there that you see the support being power boosted by Mercy, but I think definitely the smartest choice possible for Biohazard there, just to get pick after pick it seen with the help of Penguin on the Mercy.
Yeah, it's very, very important to know who's popping off in your team, and it will be Pressures to be the first to contest, as well as Lazy Titan eventually gets there, but Pressures gets pressured out. The Resurrection will go through, but not before Pineapple goes down as well, and Dapper does as well. Croutons are in a very good position here to finish this one off, as long as Pressures is taken out. Quest able to pick it off with finding 2 picks. The Valkyrie comes through, will not get the Resurrection canceled, and eventually Low Repper will go down. That will be second point for the side of Croutons as they push around with 2.5 minutes remaining. Biohazard, another pick. The Zen is crazy.
And Croutons just rolling right through here with pick after pick from everyone on their team. We see the swap by Lazy Titan now to the Wrecking Ball. I think that's definitely smart. And pressure with the pick on Biohazard, really important as they move in this next fight.
Gumball now separated with a nice little boop from the side of Ball as Biohazard doesn't have the Transcendence, isn't there for the Transcendence now. And that is multiple ultimates available for the side of Croutons, but Pressures will take out Gainoob before Gainoob's able to take out Pineapple, who was so close. Flew away with the Valkyrie. That was a beautiful reaction from the side of Pineapple. Terror Surge comes through. Dapper gets picked off. Croutons are trying to win this one right here, right now. They don't want to give Ember any amount of time to pull this one back. Gumball's able to pick off Pressures. The Resurrection gets canceled out. Gumball's insane. It's kind of crazy. He gets he's taking so much damage though. The Transcendence comes through from the side of Biohazard though to keep him alive. And this is Crouton still trying to push through here. Unfortunately for them, Ember has the spawn advantage and they will be coming back in full force. Biohazard able to take out Pineapple. The Resurrection not there and not available. Pressures has the high noon. Might find great value here in the hallway, but he has got to be careful. They're focusing him down so much and Quest able to finish it off. Dapper's able to pick off Quest though. Gainoob's able to trade out Dapper. It's left, right, front, and center. Nobody's able to make a decision yet on who's going to win. 1 minute remaining, and this is close.
All these crazy picks from the side of Croutons, but Lazy Titan with the almost endless stall.
Oh, beautiful ultimate there from the side of Pressures. They have multiple ultimates online. Finding two might make that three with Attack Visor, and that is every ultimate used now by Ember, as they are going to get they're going to have to fight through at least one, maybe two more fights, and Croutons have Attack Visor.
Yeah, Croutons ready to go with Attack Visor. They've got, a couple ults on the way, almost 3 ults actually on the way, but the minefield from Lazy Titan could prove to be immensely valuable for this next fight.
Lazy Titan activates the minefield to sort of keep the rest of Croutons away as Gumball takes a buttload of damage. Gainoob gets down to one as well. Gumball sort of caught out of position, and Quest will get blown up as soon as they're able to activate the Attack Visor. Nobody's able to get through that minefield without taking in so much damage, and that is a clean fight win from the side of Ember. I don't believe anybody's going to be there to touch, especially since Lazy Titan's sitting in the spawn room, and that will be a second point hold for the side of Ember.
Absolutely, but what a great push from the Croutons, making it almost all the way to third point. Fantastic plays, a fantastic showing there, but Ember making the necessary swaps, playing smart, playing patiently, waiting to secure really important picks, waiting to bait out ultimates, and just playing so smart that, and I think that's really what allowed them to keep that third point there from being capped. And I'm really excited to see what Ember brings out on the offensive now as they go against the Croutons, which have done such a great job so far.
One thing I want to point out is I once heard a man say, having a plan is better than no plan at all, even if it's a bad plan. So one person doing something bad is throwing, 5 people doing something bad is a strategy, and we can see that regardless of how the fight goes, both of these teams are coming out with intricate plans. They have ideas. They're constantly, I can feel the communication coming through, and I'm not even in the room, right? It's to the
Absolutely.
point where we saw an attempt there from the side of Croutons. They said, we gotta touch, we gotta go, even if it's through the minefield. And even though it didn't work out in their favor, the fact that they still have a plan, and they've had a plan for every single fight, same thing with Ember, has been extraordinary to experience.
Absolutely, and Gainoob, taking a page out of Dapper's book by playing the Torbjorn on defense here, as Lazy Titan literally just rolls right in for the start.
Pressure's gonna get a nice pick on a Biohazard as the Zenyatta Cassidy rivalry throughout the match that we've seen falls through. Gumball's able to pick off 2 as well. Quest able to pick off Dapper, and that will be a reset for the side of Ember.
And, a crazy play there from the Croutons in order to force that reset. I mean, for a moment there, I really thought that Ember already had that secured. Lazy Titan on the Wrecking Ball is such a powerful force. It's so difficult to deal with.
Dapper gonna pick off Quest. I keep saying Quest. And it's gonna be an immediate dive there from the side of Lazy Titan, but Biohazard is there. He's scary. He doesn't quite get the pick, and he is gonna get pressured out here from the side of Pressures. Gets the pick off the Biohazard. Gainoob is able to pick off Pressures in return though, and neither team was wanting to give this one up at all. 3 minutes now left for the side of Ember. Is they're gonna be wrapping around the left through the hotel.
Got one here.
And Ember with the, quite a bit of a time advantage here now, moving on to the point, but it's still a ton of contestants from the Croutons.
Pressure's able to pick up Penguin as Quest swaps over to the Sojourn. This is an interesting pick we haven't seen all day. The Terror Surge from Gumball trying to find any pick they can, trying to stall this out as much as possible. Will be able to find Pressures right after Pineapple is able to get the Resurrection on the Dapper. Gumball will eventually fall, but not before burning off quite a bit of time, and it will eventually be Ember capturing with 2.5 minutes on the clock turned into, I believe, 3.5.
And now it's Ember with the huge ultimate advantage moving into this.
And a massive pick there from the side of Ember, picking off Penguin, gonna make it so that that Croutons can't really defend the point here.
Absolutely, such a long stagger that the spawns have been moved backwards.
Plenty of time here for either team to really find a foothold. As we have Biohazard activating the Transcendence there now for the side of Crouton. They're going to push forward, they're going to be aggressive, they're going to hold this corner if they so need to. Guidance able to pick up Low Repper with a Blossom in the backline. Doesn't get traded out with Pressures, and the Resurrection is forced through. Pressures activates the High Noon. It will find one. He will find one eventually. Quest goes down. And once again, Croutons are going to get pulled apart. 3 minutes now for the side of Ember.
And great plays there from Ember to really secure that fight win for their team. And Ember as well, having Dapper's Visor, proven to be super powerful in the past. Almost got the Kitsune Rush and the Valkyrie from Pineapple. My guess is that they're waiting on the Kitsune to kind of really pair that with the tactical Visor. And the power boost from Pineapple we've seen time and time again just get so much value.
Gumball back onto the Winston, takes so much damage. Request able to pick off Pressures as they're going to be looking to the Gumball to try to take him out. Now it's going to be a dive on the back line, but he's down so much HP, and Dapper will be able to clean him off. Biohazard able to pick off Low Repper though, and that's the second one. Let the Zen live long enough and he will find the picks he needs. The Valkyrie almost gets canceled out, and Low Repper will be rezzed. Now Ember have 4 members alive still, so they could very well contest this one. Croutons is in full strength though, and won't be giving it up that easy. The Minefield comes through. Will anybody get picked off? The Kitsune Rush comes through as well, going to be putting out so much DPS pressure for the side of Ember as they're going to be pushing on this last corner here. Lazy Titan able to pick off Biohazard, and Penguin falls down as well. No healing online for the side of Ember, and they will be falling here.
And it's looking like Ember finally able to secure that second point, moving into the third round. But Lazy Titan on the Wrecking Ball just being such an unstoppable force, rolling back and forth through the Croutons. And the Croutons have made several great swaps here. I think Gumball and the Monkey can really help to kind of separate the team and get a few more picks for their side.
Biohazard trades out for Pressure, and the Resurrection once again comes through. These Resurrections from Pineapple have been absolutely insane. Have been buying Ember so much value, as Pressure is going to get a second chance to find any value he can, and of course he does. He picks off the second one. Dapper activates Attack Visor to try to pick up anything else he can. Guidance able to pick off Dapper, and the Blossom comes through. It's able to pick off 1, make that 2, make that 3, and Guidance will be stabilizing this for the side of Crouton as they get another chance to hold.
And Lazy Titan forced to retreat as the team falls before them. But that crazy play by Gainu there on the Reaper really helping to secure that point, buy them a bit more time. Bob being brought out here, ready to fight. Bob kind of going on an adventure, but he's still getting the pick on Pineapple, buying them even more time.
That is absolutely huge. The Resurrection not there either for anybody. Low Repper goes down as well. No healing available for the side of Embers. They're going to be forged out. Biohazard finds another pick on a Dapper, and more staggers mean more time burned. 2.5 minutes on the clock, so Ember has plenty of time to do this. However, multiple ultimates online for both of these teams.
Absolutely, we got 3 on the side of the Croutons, just about 3 on the side of Ember, and Ember already ready to go at it as Lazy Titan rolls in.
Minefields get dropped as well. We've seen this be so devastating with the Transcendence there to counteract it, as well as the Primal Rage trying to force out anybody away. 2 ultimates now used, actually 3. Valkyrie comes through as well, and now Croutons don't have any ultimates in their name. The High Noon comes through, picking off Penguin. Resurrection no longer available from the side of Croutons. They're going to be taking so much damage. Pressures is alive and well and has the support needed to do what he needs to do. Dapper picks off Guiding after taking so much damage, and Gumball falls as well. 2 minutes on the clock, and with Croutons having that spawn advantage, this is the last fight.
Absolutely crazy there, but the three ultimates used from Croutons really leaves them with nothing as Ember rolls in towards this point.
Dynoob trying their darndest to stay alive, but he will get picked up by Pressures, who's just been left to continue to wreak havoc. And Croutons struggling to sort of get together, sort of make a full committed push as more and more damage comes out from the side of Pressures. The Resurrection canceled as well. He's going to pick off Penguin, make that 3, make that 4. He's absolutely insane. The last bit of meterage is coming through. Will anybody be able to touch? Will anybody be able to make a play here? Pressures has the high noob. He will be using it to immediately pick off Guy Noob. It will be Gumball on the ball, trying to find anything. The Bastion comes through as well, but it's able to trade up Pressures. They do not have the Resurrection to keep him alive. Never mind, they do. Pineapple's going to be able to get it. It once again goes through. Pineapple's been absolutely insane. If only there was a Resurrection counter. But the picks come through. Biohazard doing to pick up through. The DPS boy are coming through huge, and this will be another hold. 1 minute on the clock for both of these teams as the fight continues on.
And it's looking like Ember now being forced backwards with less than a minute left on the clock.
Massive swaps here from the side of Croutons as they've swapped over to the Bastion Junkrat combination, and Gumball, like we said earlier, on the ball as well. A full strategy swap, and it has caught Ember completely by surprise.
Ember about to have a couple ultimates coming in. Croutons with a couple of their own. It's truly anybody's fight.
You've got to
as we
live,
move
though.
in towards this last battle.
This is it. The attack advisor comes in through from the side of Dapper. Will anybody be able to survive with the Kitsune Rush comes through to combo it in? Kolan tries to keep anybody alive, but it's just so much damage. Pressures and Dapper doing such a good job at continuing to do that damage, continuing to find the picks they need. Guidance able to get one passive death kill on the low repper, but it's not going to be enough. And Ember will be taking the match and will be taking King's Row.
And Gumball so close there to getting that final contest. But what a crazy performance from Ember, and what a great performance from Croutons too.
We're going to be seeing a play here from the side of Guy Noob. I think we saw this earlier a little bit. He's going to get one pick on the Pineapple, immediately coming here, and oh, beautiful stuff. Cleans up the point, and was a big part in helping Croutons get as far as they did. Ember is still our reigning champ of the regular season at 5-0, but gosh darn it, if Croutons did not come up with some massive improvements in overall gameplay, in team play, in planning, in ult usage, just the whole board has changed now to where Croutons, looking like one of the weaker teams at the beginning of the season, have now turned into a force to be reckoned with, as have all of our teams up to this point.
Absolutely. You know, it's truly crazy to see the growth from the side of Croutons coming up to that. Because, again, not only were they able to go toe to toe against Ember, but they came so close
Yeah.
to securing that. You know, the 30 seconds, if it weren't for the amazing final plays there from Ember, you know, the Kitsune Rush combined with the Tactical Visor and the Valkyrie from Mercy, you know, that's just so much damage. There's nothing any team could have done to
Right.
stop that. It was super smart of Ember to save that for when they did, you know, secure that win. And wow, such an amazing matchup there. You know, so much fun to see, so much fun to cast. You know, it's just an amazing play that these players have shown today throughout these matches. I mean, both of them were honestly super crazy.
Absolutely. And an outstanding performance from both of these teams. Be proud of what you've done here this week. We will not be having any matches next week, I believe, due to spring break. That is going to be our post mid season pause. So we will see you guys in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, my name is Marp. I was joined by Imperium. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and we'll see you guys in the next few matches.